If you share your home with a dog, I need you to answer this honestly. Have you ever reached toward their bowl while they were eating? What happened? Did they freeze? Did their lip curl? Did you hear that low rumble in their chest? The kind that makes you pull your hand back without thinking? Maybe they snapped. Maybe they just stared at you in a way that didn't feel like love. If any of that sounds familiar, this video is for you. And I'm willing to bet what you've been doing to fix it is actually making it worse. Rising tension. Trainers and vets hear the same question almost every single day. My dog gets aggressive around food. What am I doing wrong? And almost every time the answer is the same, and it's uncomfortable to hear. You didn't find the problem. You created it. I know, that stings. You weren't trying to hurt your dog. You were trying to teach them. You had the best intentions. But intention doesn't matter to a nervous system. And the science isn't on your side. Not this time. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how this cycle starts, why it keeps getting worse, and the specific steps to break it for good. You're also going to have a moment, I can almost guarantee it, where you think to yourself, why has no one ever told me this before? Stay with me. It's worth it. Definition and recognition. Food aggression. You may have never heard those two words put together like that, but I guarantee you've seen it. Someone walks near your dog's bowl while they're eating, and something shifts. The ears go flat. The eyes go narrow. A sound rises from somewhere deep in their chest. Maybe teeth. Maybe a snap. Maybe your dog physically drags the bowl away, like you were about to steal something precious from them. That's food aggression. And it's more common than most people realize. The stakes. Here's a number that should stop you cold. Over 50% of dog bites happen around food or bones. Not on walks. Not during play. At the bowl. And if you have children in your home, this isn't just a behavioral inconvenience. This is a loaded situation waiting to go wrong. Because a child will never read the warning signs. To them, the dog is always just the dog. Soft, familiar, safe. They don't see the stiff body, the fixed stare, the held breath, but the dog sees them. And in that moment, the dog doesn't see a child. It sees a threat, the real cause. So why is this so widespread? The answer is uncomfortable. But it's the truth. We do this to them, not out of cruelty, not out of carelessness. We do it because we genuinely believe we're training our dogs. We reach into the bowl to show them who's in charge. We interrupt their meals to build trust. We test them again and again, convinced we're helping. But every single time we do that, we're not teaching them anything. We're pulling a wire, an ancient wire, buried deep in every dog that has ever lived. And that wire doesn't care about your intentions. It only knows one thing: protect what's yours, or lose it forever. The scene. Let me walk you through something I've watched happen in real homes, over and over again. It's dinner time. Your family is at the table. Your dog is on the floor with their bowl. Everything looks fine. Everyone is eating. The house feels calm. And then you get up. Maybe you're grabbing the empty bag of food sitting next to the bowl. Maybe you're checking their water. Maybe you're not even thinking about the dog at all, you just happen to walk that direction. Your intention? Completely harmless. But your dog doesn't have access to your intentions. Inside the dog's mind, what your dog experiences in that moment goes something like this. Someone is coming toward my food. Are they going to take it? I can't let that happen. This is mine. That's not bad behavior. That's not dominance. That's not your dog turning on you. That's an alarm, ancient, automatic, and completely outside their control. Somewhere in your dog's brain, a system switches on. A system shaped over thousands of years, long before dogs had bowls, long before there were houses or families or dinner tables. Back then, food wasn't a given. A meal meant survival. Losing it could mean death. That memory isn't stored in thoughts. It's stored in the body. And bodies don't forget. The tragic loop. Here's the part that breaks people when they finally understand it. It doesn't matter how much your dog loves you. It doesn't matter that you're their person. The one who feeds them, walks them, sleeps next to them. In that moment, love is not the loudest signal in the room. Fear is. And here's where the loop begins. Your dog growls. You step back. Your dog growls. You step back. From your dog's perspective, that's not a standoff. That's a lesson. It worked. The threat retreated. I'll do it again. Every time you back away, you're not avoiding conflict. You're teaching your dog that aggression is the answer. And each time, it takes a little less to trigger it. The Harvard moment. Research out of Harvard found that dogs have roughly the emotional intelligence of a 2.5-year-old child. Think about what that actually means. When you walk toward your dog while they're eating, you are, emotionally speaking, walking toward a toddler and reaching for the thing they love most in the world. What would a 2-year-old do? They'd scream. They'd grab tighter. They'd cry. Because they don't have the words to say, "Please don't take this." Neither does your dog. The growl is the only language they have. And we punish them for using it. Let's go deeper. Because this isn't just behavior, this is biology. Inside your dog's brain, there's a structure called the amygdala. You might have heard of it in humans. It's the part of the brain responsible for detecting threats, for triggering fear, for deciding in a fraction of a second whether something in the environment is dangerous. In dogs, this structure is faster, more sensitive, more reactive than in us. So when you walk toward your dog's bowl while they're eating, their amygdala doesn't pause to consider your intentions. It doesn't weigh the situation. It fires. And when it fires, a cascade begins. Heart rate climbs. Breathing shifts. Cortisol, the stress hormone, floods the body. Muscles tighten. The entire system pivots toward one singular mode: fight or run. Your dog isn't choosing to threaten you. Their body has already made the decision for them. This is not personality. This is not spite. This is a survival reflex running on hardware that hasn't changed in thousands of years. Researchers call it resource guarding, and here's what makes it so important to understand. Domestication didn't erase it. We bred dogs to live with us, to trust us, to need us, but we never bred out the part of them that says protect what keeps you alive. Some breeds carry this reflex more intensely than others. German Shepherds, Rottweilers, Dobermans. Dogs historically bred to guard, to protect, to hold ground, they tend to show stronger responses. But make no mistake, this is not a breed-specific problem. Given the right conditions, any dog can get here. Now here's something that surprised even experienced trainers when the research came out. The intensity of food aggression isn't random. It scales with value. A dog eating the same dry kibble every day? Lower risk. Predictable resource. Low perceived stakes. But give that same dog a raw bone, a piece of organ meat, a high-value treat they rarely get, and the calculus changes completely. The rarer the resource, the more fiercely the brain decides it must be protected. This is why so many bites happen not at the regular bowl, but the moment something special is introduced. And finally, this is the one I need you to really hear. Food aggression has nothing to do with dominance. That idea that your dog is trying to be the alpha, trying to overpower you, trying to establish rank, is one of the most persistent and damaging myths in dog behavior. When your dog guards their food, they are not challenging you. They are not trying to win. They are not asserting anything about the hierarchy of your household. They are simply, desperately trying to hold on to something they believe they might lose. That distinction isn't just academic. It changes everything about how you respond, and we'll get into exactly that next. So how do we break the cycle? Before we get to the solution, and there is a real workable solution, we need to talk about what's making it worse. Because most people trying to fix food aggression are accidentally pouring fuel on the fire. Let's go through the mistakes, one by one. Mistake 1, reaching into the bowl. This is the most common one, and it usually comes from a place that makes complete sense on the surface. If my dog can take from me, I should be able to take from them. Feels fair. It feels like establishing boundaries. But your dog doesn't experience it as fairness. They experience it as a raid. Every hand that enters that bowl confirms what their nervous system has been warning them about all along. Someone is coming for your food. And each time it happens, the defense goes up a little higher, a little faster, a little harder to bring back down. Mistake 2, taking the bowl away mid-meal. The intention here is usually about teaching patience, impulse control, manners, noble goals, wrong method. The moment you reach for that bowl while your dog is eating, you have just become, in their nervous system's language, a predator mid-hunt. It doesn't matter that you're their person. It doesn't matter that you'll give it right back. The body doesn't wait for context. It reacts. And every time you take that bowl, even for 3 seconds, you are deepening the belief that mealtime is not safe. Mistake 3. Standing over them while they eat. You might just be watching, supervising, making sure they finish. Your dog sees a shadow looming over their only source of food. In the wild, nothing stands over you while you eat unless it wants what you have. That association is ancient and it is strong. Standing there, even silently, even still, keeps the alarm system on for the entire meal. There is no relaxation. There is no enjoyment. There is only vigilance. Let them eat without an audience. Mistake 4. Making direct eye contact during the meal. Eye contact between you and your dog is usually a good thing. It builds connection, communicates trust. But during feeding, a hard, fixed stare is a different signal entirely. In dog language, a locked gaze at close range means one thing. I am challenging you. It's the look that precedes a fight. And if your dog is already on edge, that look doesn't reassure them. It confirms their worst fear, that something is about to happen. Look away. Move softly. Let your body say, I'm not here for your food. Mistake 5. Adding food to the bowl while they're eating. This one hurts to include because it comes from such a good place. You want to show your dog that hands near the bowl mean good things. You've heard that somewhere and you're trying it. And in theory, later in the process, it's actually the right idea. But if your dog is already in an actively aggressive state, approaching the bowl mid-meal, even with a treat, can backfire. The agitation is already running. The treat doesn't land as a reward. It lands as an interruption. And the approach itself reinforces the very pattern you're trying to undo. Timing matters as much as intention. Here's what connects all 5 of these mistakes. They all involve approaching something your dog is desperately trying to protect, without first doing the slower, quieter work of making that protection feel unnecessary. You can't negotiate with a nervous system mid-alarm. You have to turn the alarm off first. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about next. Alright, let's talk about what actually works. What I'm about to share with you is called the conflict withdrawal approach. It's not a hack. It's not a shortcut. It's a scientifically grounded method used by trainers around the world, and when it's applied consistently, it works. Here's the truth before we begin. You're not fixing a broken dog. You're rebuilding a broken association. And that takes time, repetition, and a complete shift in how you show up at mealtime. Step 1. Stop approaching. Completely. For the first few weeks, don't go near your dog while they're eating. Not to check on them. Not to move the bowl. Not even to walk past if you can help it. Leave the room. Close the door if you need to. Let them eat in total peace. This feels counterintuitive. You might think you're giving up control. But what you're actually doing is something far more powerful. You're letting the alarm system rest. You're giving your dog's amygdala a chance to stop associating your presence with threat. No approach. No tension. No trigger. Just a dog. And a bowl. And quiet. Step 2. When you must approach, bring something. After a few weeks of distance, begin reintroducing yourself, but never empty-handed. As you pass near the bowl, drop something in. A small piece of chicken. A bit of cheese. A high-value treat. Don't make a production of it. Don't linger. Just drop and move on. What you're doing is rewriting the equation inside your dog's head. Right now, that equation reads, hand approaching equals something taken away. You're changing it one drop at a time to hand approaching equals something added. That shift, as simple as it sounds, is everything. Step 3. End meals with play. The moment your dog finishes eating, meet them with something good. A game. A walk. A few minutes of genuine connection. This teaches them that the end of mealtime isn't a loss. It's a transition. Food time leads to fun time. The bowl emptying isn't a signal to guard. It's a signal that something better is coming. Step 4. Get closer. Slowly. Weeks in, you can begin to close the distance again. But you're still not touching the bowl. You're still dropping, not taking. You're moving at the pace your dog sets, not the pace your impatience demands. Watch for the signs. Soft eyes, relaxed ears, a body that doesn't tighten when you enter the room. Those are the green lights. Follow them. Step 5. Bring the children in. If you have kids at home, they need to be part of this process, not kept away from it. Teach them clearly. We don't go near the dog when they're eating. No exceptions. And when the time is right, let them be the ones dropping the treat. Let them be the hand that adds, not the hand that takes. That single experience, a child dropping something good into a dog's bowl and walking away, can do more for the relationship between them than months of careful management. And the golden rule that holds all of this together: be patient in a way that actually means something. Not, I'll try this for 3 days and see. Real patience. The kind that understands you spent months, maybe years, building this anxiety without knowing it. You don't undo that in a week. Some dogs turn a corner in a few weeks. Others need a few months. But here's what I can tell you with certainty. The dog on the other side of this process is not the same dog you started with. Mealtime stops being a battlefield. It becomes what it was always supposed to be: quiet, safe, and completely ordinary. And that's worth every bit of the wait. Now we've arrived at what might be the most important thing I'll say in this entire video. If your dog is already showing serious food aggression, actual biting, uncontrollable lunging, behavior that feels genuinely dangerous, please don't rely on a YouTube video to fix it, including this one. Seek out a qualified trainer, a veterinary behaviorist, someone who can sit in the room with you and your dog and see what's actually happening. Online content, at its best, can change the way you think. But it cannot replace hands-on professional intervention when the situation has already escalated. And there is no shame in that. Reaching out for help isn't a sign that you failed your dog. It's a sign that you take their well-being seriously enough to do what it actually takes. Aggression that goes unaddressed doesn't plateau. It builds. And early intervention before someone gets hurt is always the right call. So let's bring this full circle. What you came here thinking was a discipline problem, a dog that won't listen, a dog that's acting out, a dog you might have quietly started to fear a little, is actually something else entirely. It's a dog that doesn't feel safe. Not a bad dog. Not a dominant dog. Not a dog that's lost respect for you. A dog that needs something rebuilt. And that something is trust. The method isn't confrontation. It isn't dominance. It isn't showing them who's in charge. It's patience, consistency, and the quiet, daily decision to be the person your dog can count on, even at the bowl. If this video gave you something, a new way of seeing your dog, a moment of recognition, a tool you didn't have before, I'd ask one thing: share it. Not for the algorithm, not for the numbers, but because somewhere in your life, there is probably someone who needed to hear this. A neighbor, a family member, a friend whose dog has always made them nervous at feeding time and they never understood why. One share might change how someone treats their dog tomorrow morning. And that matters. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, go find your dog. Give them a moment of your presence that has nothing to do with training or correction or expectation. Just be with them, because they are not just an animal you're responsible for. They are the one living thing on this earth that will meet you at the door every single time. No matter what kind of day it was, no matter what you got wrong, no matter how long you were gone. That kind of loyalty deserves understanding in return. Take care of each other.